The mind's potential lies beyond the realm of thought.
All right, episode 8. Here we go. I know it's been a while since we've recorded, just with the holidays and everything being so busy. I'm glad we finally were able to carve out some time, Sean, to do an episode
First,
again. And I definitely.
first one of the
Oh, go ahead.
year.
Yeah, first one of the year, huh? And we're 2 months in now.
No, we're good. We're right
But
on track. We're doing just
right on
fine.
track. Definitely gonna make sure we carve out, time again to make sure we're doing this still, because I know how important it is to both of us. So, anyways, with it being, like what, 3 months since we've actually recorded, I definitely believe that there's a lot that's
Two and a
happened in
half.
between those 2.5. Pretty close. I definitely think that there's been a lot that's happened though, and I read a few books that have shifted my perspective on a lot of things, and you know some areas of my life did a complete 180, others kind of stayed the same. And I know that you kind of had a similar experience, definitely diving into like some of the Taoism philosophy and the religion aspect of it too. So why don't you go ahead, and Sean, and kind of catch everyone up, and me myself too, on what's been going
Well,
on in the last couple months.
kind of over the break, you had gotten a hold of me, and we talked about that book. And um, I was sitting in front of a computer like I always am, so I just started, looking up who the guy was that wrote the book. And dude, like we found out all this crazy stuff about this guy named Alex Anatol, who's basically uh, this dude grew up as a Russian that was learning and teaching Taoism,
Oh, and
and
really
it
quick,
went,
just so for anyone listening, the book that we're referring to is called
yeah.
The Essence of Tao.
And this dude, right? Like, he didn't really face a lot of like trouble doing his thing, but eventually he had to leave Russia. But he ended up coming over here, and I forget what state his monastery or whatever is in. But this dude is he's a recognized grand master, and I
I think
think
it's
he's still,
California, by the way.
is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
But he's the only person outside of China that's ever been named a grand master, and he's got one master below him, and then they run this temple, and there's like under 200 people that go there, but he does online stuff. And that's when I started learning a lot more about the traditions that they have in the religious side of things. And it was an instant turnoff, man. I mean, really, like I didn't know any of it at all, and then come to find out, because he's got a website, and he's got a lot of really great artifacts there, like at his temple. And there's something to be said about preserving stuff that long, but man, I just the like they're doing exorcisms with a a fox's mask or whatever. And
Oh wow, I've never even heard of that.
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, and they have multiple gods that they pray to and they worship. And but I think that's kind of like I think you should take kind of a higher resolution view of it. And and so I asked ChatGPT to spit me out the an oversight of Tao. And on the religious side, this is what it had to say. Taoism incorporates many practices and beliefs aimed at cultivating a harmonious and fulfilling life, including meditation, Qui-Gon, and offerings to the gods and ancestors. There is also a strong emphasis on health and longevity, and many Taoist practices are designed to promote physical and spiritual well-being, and uh, practices and beliefs vary widely, and there are many different schools and sects within the tradition. Some Taoist sects place a strong emphasis on the worship of gods and ancestors, while others focus more on internal alchemy and meditation practices. Despite these differences, however, yeah, and that's basically it. But
Yeah.
you know, if you just separate all that stuff out and think about like how like we live today, and that's basically just like an extension of the philosophy. Like I don't need to do this multiple, you know, gods and all of the
Yeah.
all of that side of it, but there is a certain part of it that speaks to living in harmony and being taking care of yourself, and that I'm down with. So
Yeah, the philosophy of it definitely is great when it comes to, like Wu Wei and, like you said, living in harmony and stuff like that. And yeah, it's when once it starts to get into like that kind of mysticism kind of shit, that's just where I'm just like, yeah, all right, maybe this isn't for me. Not that it's
well
like a
I
problem, but
I think it's just
I just don't
I
agree
don't
with it.
I just don't have a desire to know, right?
Yeah, I guess the
Like,
best way to like say it is like I don't see it benefiting me in any sort of way in
well,
in
I think what
this
happens
realm we're
is
in.
if I have a desire to know, then I have a possibility that I might accept something that I don't fully agree with if I were
Hmm.
to sit there and think it out, right?
Right.
And I'm pretty solid on consciousness as a thing, and I guess we could say there's maybe a soul, but that's it, dude. Like other than that, like I got enough problems here, you know? Like and I don't mean that in a bad way, but um
Yeah.
you know, it's just a matter of what's in front of you, I guess. But I've got a thing that I say, but so what it is so if there's like an afterlife or something like that that's after this that you know might have something to do with the way you live this life. Why don't you just live this life, right? Like do that really well, and everything else I think will just fall in place.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think
And
I
so,
that's
oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I was just going to say that's kind of like one thing that I liked about Buddhism is like you don't have to worship any god or anything like that, and the Buddha was just a normal person too, right? But a person that achieved enlightenment. And so it's like in the what was it, the polycanons or the I can't remember what the other name for it, but anyways, yeah, it's like you don't go in giving blind faith to deities or nothing that you can't prove for yourself in your person. And that's definitely what I guess resonates or like hits home with me the best. So with that though, so I know we talked a little bit, or we kind of mentioned the book, but um I guess I want to dive into like some of the things that you took from it that shifted your perspective from kind of how we were going about things and then how we go about things now with like some of the
Well,
Taoist philosophies we practice.
I just the thing I pulled from it is like these are all like corrective measures, right? Like when you start feeling off track, like just training yourself to the point where you stay focused, and you know that's pretty much it for me. Just, but to be honest, I haven't even read the book yet because I haven't found a copy of it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. There's one thing because I read the book all the way through within like just a couple of days, and like one of the things that like stood out the most to me, and it's because it's something that we bring up a lot, is the no action philosophy or Wu Wei, where you kind of just let things go and take their course. And like if someone does something you don't like or whatever, just, let it go or move on or something, whatever, right? And like after learning all about Taoism, I've actually heard someone else say this. Like a lot of people, and like myself included, kind of take it as like a pacifist Bible, right? Like just completely, it's almost like let people or the environment, anything just kind of walk over you. You just train yourself not to give a shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Like,
I,
that's the way I saw it.
I mean, I've heard Taoists described as, being uh, basically loners, like, but not loners as in, like, back in the day, I guess they used to drift a lot, right? Like they would
Yeah.
go from place to place. And, but I mean, when you think about this, somebody, you said somebody does something that you don't like and you just kind of let it go. Like, uh, that gets so much easier, like, the more you do this. And, like, you start realizing that, this guy or whatever the situation is, like, involves you so little, right? You are such a small part of that thing. And most of the time you're just there. And I I've just practiced like having awareness of my place in things and for situations like that, like but over the course of these couple months, like I have started being healthier and taking care of my body. And I I think things are looking good, man. Like I'm still going strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I definitely, I know what you mean. It's like, say someone says something to you that you don't like, and then realizing that maybe they're just being an asshole because they're having a bad day and it's not you. You're just the person there to, catch the heat for it. But after I read the book and I learned a little bit more about the non-action approach. So kind of the way like he describes it, if I remember correctly, is like, yeah, non-action, like if something doesn't matter, like you have to have the discipline and the awareness to realize, okay, this, whatever the issue is it really an issue, or am I projecting something onto it that's making me feel a certain way? Or is it like an actual issue and this person is being a dick? Like, do I actually need to say something? So first, it's up to you to actually be able to make a clear-headed decision without your ego being involved or without projecting anything onto it, and then be like, okay, yeah, so like this isn't an issue. I can just walk away because like I was just feeling some type of way about it. That's on me, whatever. But like if someone is, say you're at work for an example, and like your coworker is constantly just being a dick, like you can't just keep using the non-action approach, like, oh, they're having a bad day, oh, they're having a bad day. Eventually you're gonna have to make a sort of action. And like what they say in the book, that is that it's okay to take action when it's necessary, right? So like someone's disturbing your peace, take action to fix that so you can return back to your harmony or whatever and be back at your peace. So sometimes it is necessary to take action. And that was like, I was like, okay, like I feel better about this now because I don't want to be a fucking pushover, But also I agree with like not taking shit so personally and being able to just let shit go that doesn't matter. And that's something I guess I've just been working on, is that, and then learning when the appropriate time is to take action to set my harmony back in place or whatever.
Well, it's almost like you're guiding a ship, right? Like you're trying to keep the thing flowing. And um, when you're able to pick up on those things and it flows a little bit better down the stream. But um, yeah, you were talking about the first thing you said was like interactions with people. Like people are just, you know like the way people act and treat other people is usually a reflection of like what, like you said, like whatever it is that they're going through or how they feel about themselves, and that comes out in a way that isn't always pleasant, right? Like, and a lot of bad attitudes like fester and become from things like that. And we've talked about detaching from all of that and allowing things just to be the way they are, and then taking an approach and you know possibly moving for something better. And you, not everybody does that, right? Like you got to remember, like there's people out there that aren't blessed enough to, you know, they've got other shit going on, and sometimes so do I, right? But like keeping that in the forefront of my mind, like almost all the time when I interact with somebody, is like it's compassion, right? Like and it's love,
Yeah.
like, and that's the just a little bit of that goes a long way, like just a little bit of understanding. And I don't know, like it sounds like you had a confrontation at work, and that sucks because
Confrontation's an understatement, but yeah.
yeah. See, you young kids, man, like I'm so chill. Like I don't have. Well, I did have somebody that was upset about a DoorDash order, but that, you know,
Yeah.
that's not on me. But I mean, it's and then there's so many other moving pieces. Like I don't know what else did you pull away from it? Because when I think about uh, like I don't think about it as non-action. I think of it as effortless action, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
you're
the best way to put it.
it's like instead of walking against the wind, like you're walking and the wind is behind you, right? Like it's just a little bit easier to, you know, experience life. And I've had a real strong affinity for that. Like I picked up on that real fast, like in this. And I know that the thing that I like, because I see like a big picture here. Like I see, you know, what's the best way to experience this life, right? And the best way to do that is to, you know, be firing on all cylinders and have your body reflect it too. And so now I'm trying to, because I feel like those are the only two pieces that are missing, right? Is the this kind of thing that we've embodied, and then having more energy and taking care of yourself on top of it. And I mean, I can't say enough, man. Like you got me started on vitamins early on, and
Oh
I've
yeah.
still been, yep, and I've still been taking them, and now I'm
Hell yeah.
exercising, and I've been eating like carnivore slash keto. Like it's not all meat, but it's no
Yeah.
carbs, that's for sure. And dude, like it's such a crazy turnaround even there, because like if you talk about nutrition, like those are healthy fats. Like because I just made a pot roast too, right? And like that's stuff that is just really good for your brain. And I don't know, it seems like protein is just the way to go now.
Yeah. Always has been. Um, yeah, no. So from the book though, I pulled so many. It was you'll see what I mean when you read it. But to kind of sum it up, it's like everything that I thought like what Taoism is, it was completely turned around by that book. It's like what you read online and what you from like the Tao Te Ching, like it's like a really beautiful poetry kind of thing. But then when you read like the Essence of Tao that was written by the Grandmaster, it's like not so beautiful at all. He completely just so for example, like um Taoism, you kind of just with the way like the vibe of it is, it kind of just feels like beautiful, embrace life. It's amazing. You just have to step out of your mind to fully, get the full experience, right? And then like it was like one of the first things I read in The Essence of Down. He was like, the world is a cruel, cruel, ugly place, and we have to figure out how to navigate through it and stop pretending like it isn't. And yeah, it was just like that right there was like, okay, so this like someone's not, ignoring all the bad shit that happens and making it all like sunshine and rainbows, and you just have to be open minded,
Well,
so
that's the psychological approach, right? Like all existence is basically suffering because the things that are demanded from us to live in a society, like there's there's so much going on, and then on top of that, like I can't put it into words the right way, but there's a I think it's Nietzsche. Like he's dead now, but he's an older philosopher, and he because I can pull it up right here, but he talks about how life literally is just suffering,
yeah.
and even when we make sacrifices for a better future, like we're sacrificing our time or whatever it is that we're doing for something that we hope to get in the future, right? Like
Mhm.
that's almost contradictory to the whole thing. And I don't know, like I really need to read it, but I feel like the thing for me is like the way it all pulls together is you're experiencing like the experience, and that's it, right? Like because it's almost like you're devoid of emotion, like
No. Yeah,
but
pretty much like the in the Essence of Tao, the way he like kind of lays out the book, and like the Tao Te Ching as well. Like after I really got a better understanding of it, even though it's like beautiful, like uh, what is it, stanzas or whatever you want to call it. It's like he they describe the experience, like the human experience, as suffering, and like you just said, and it's pretty much like a guide on how to get through it with as little suffering as possible, while like outlining like these are the main things that are going to cause the most suffering, and it's you. So let me help you not be so you.
yeah.
Because you're gonna fuck it up. Pretty much is what I got from it, and it's honestly it's helped me like let go of shit that I was holding on to that honestly wasn't serving any purpose other than to give me something to think about and try and figure out, and just be a problem in my head even though it's not really a problem.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like a backpack, like when the thing happened that you're now holding your resentment for or whatever it is, like you put a backpack on, right? And you can either like set it down and leave it there, or you can carry it with you. And I don't know, like it's so easy to at first to get caught up in that, and because there's so many different things that I've pretty much like trained myself not to even because I told you about the man. I don't know if I should talk about it on here, but um, I told you about the fuck it. I'll just say it. I was talking to my mom, and I told you about that text message she sent, and the thing I pulled away from it, right, is that there's so much going on, like when people communicate to each other, because it's almost like the more words that you say, the more like you're constructing this narrative of the thing you're trying to say, and I just see that now, and like I it's things like that before I would have allowed myself to get. emotionally involved in, the thing I was reading and then make a bad judgment from that place, right?
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, like I can, you know, let that thing be what it is and then make an actual decision that, you know, is the rational or best one to make. And that's just an example, but like that happens all the time now. And it's, you know, if you're not happy where you're at, what would it take to be happy? What could you actually do today? And
Yeah.
dude, there's a lot you could do. Like,
Yeah, I'll
but
definitely say like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say like, if you actually sit and think about, things that you would want better in your life and what those things might be, and then maybe explore like what would it take to not even get there, just move towards that, and then just do that every day, and then you're there.
No. With a little bit of action behind them, but yeah. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, I kind of the same thing. I've definitely noticed more times now than before where I'll catch myself, reading some like you said, like a text message, or I'll have a conversation with somebody, or even just like when I'm interacting with the environment, like if I drop something like my keys or my water bottle that had all my protein in it that just fell out. And like these things will happen, and like I'll feel obviously like an emotion, like I'll either get like happy, or I'll laugh from a text, or like I'll get pissed if I drop my shit. But like you said, it's like you can feel those emotions and not like involve them with how you're going to react or what you're going to say, so that way you can have like a clear headed reaction. Because like there's been times where like I said, I've dropped my water bottle and then I get pissed, and then like I move like I'm mad or something, and then like I trip or like I drop it again, and it's just little shit like that where it's just kind of funny. But if I like was like, oh, I feel pissed, but I'm not gonna move like I'm pissed, I'm just gonna pick it up like fucking normal, and then boom, there you go. But that's
Well,
kind of a bad example, but that's what I got.
well, there's the thing you're talking about, and it's having, discipline over your emotions. And because I mean, when you said pick up that water bottle like you're angry, like that really is a thing, right? Like there's jerking motions involved, like you're clearly fucking pissed, like you might even curse as you're doing it. Like that's just not pleasant, right? Like if you instead like, and over time this just becomes the way these interactions happen. But if you just take a moment or whatever and just, I started off by making jokes about it, like whatever the hell it was, like if I was in public. But um but I mean, there's nothing that's really a big deal. Like I mean, these little things that set us off, like, are you gonna have a bad day or just a bad couple minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. That reminded me. I know we had that conversation before, where it was like I mentioned, I'd get hung up on something and it would just ruin my like next couple days, and then it slowly decreased into just only ruined one day, or it only ruined like an hour or like 20 minutes, where I just didn't even ruin it, just had negative feelings. But um yeah, no, like when, and don't get me wrong, actually, it's like even though I notice it more often, like I'm still so bad at letting my emotions get involved into things. Like I catch it more frequently than I used to, because like before I never used to catch it. My emotions would get involved as fast as I felt them, and then just
Well,
take off. But
what's
now,
what's a real bitch is when the right decision is the one that you want anyway, right? And so
yeah.
but go ahead.
But yeah, now it's like, I catch it more frequently before I have a reaction, which is nice, but there's still many times on like pretty much like the intensity of the emotion, or how strong of a charge it has, is like just it makes it a lot harder for me to like kind of catch, right? So like someone will say something I don't like or whatever, and if like I get really upset about it, I don't notice it quite as fast or whatever, and they get involved just a lot quicker, and it just kind of takes off from there. And then usually it's about like 20 minutes or so of me, like 20 minutes to an hour of me like either arguing with this person or in my head arguing with that person.
Oh
And then I
man.
realize, oh my god, I need to like chill the fuck out and realize that like I'm getting my emotions involved in something that probably honestly hasn't mattered now for the last hour anyways, or it shouldn't have mattered to begin with. But yeah, no, I'm working on it though, for sure. It's been a work in progress. Like a lot of times, like what I do is like I'll even like if I feel like like I said earlier, like with the water bottle, like if I feel like a negative emotion where like I feel pissed because I dropped it, I like realize that it's a negative emotion, and then I kind of flip it around to try and bring it into a positive one. So like I drop it and then I kind of laugh. I'm like, fuck, that ruined my day.
Right.
This is gonna
I
suck.
mean,
This is gonna be a shitty day. And I pick it up and I kind of laugh about it, even though it's yeah. Anyways,
there was something that I've read that talked about how, you know, our our consciousness is always static, but like our perspective is the thing that changes, right? And just learning all these little tricks that kind of help you change that to, you know, something that is not a negative like response. Like it changes everything, man. Like it puts you back to where you want to be faster. And I mean, and dude, it's I don't know. That's something I've always been pretty good at. Like the thing I'm gonna have trouble with is sticking to these to these workouts, man. Because dude,
yeah,
like I went and it has been a long time, but I don't know. Like I need to do some more. I need to get that book and read it, but I want to try to take a like an educated approach to this. And what did you do when you were working out to help you stay motivated? That kind of falls into this.
well, I've never really relied on motivation because, like, motivation kind of just comes and goes. Like, you'll watch something on YouTube, it gets you all hyped up for like 10 minutes, and then, maybe that
Dude,
works the
this is
first few
deja
times you go to
vu.
the gym.
No,
But
sir.
yeah, I feel like we've had this conversation before. I can't remember,
I
but we'll
think
go with it
so.
anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably on what was it? Setting yourself up for success. I think it might have been on
No,
that
no.
one. No.
This
Maybe
seems
it was
like it
just a
was.
conversation
Oh,
you and me just had
I think
by
yeah, maybe.
by ourselves. But yeah, no, I've never used motivation because, like I said, it comes and goes and it's so unreliable. Like there's honestly like 90% of the time I feel really unmotivated. Like I'm just laying in bed. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to fucking go to the gym. It's 8 in the morning. Like I got to get up. I got to take a shower. I got to eat a meal and drink a protein shake and get ready for my workout. It's like, it's a fucking process. I don't want to do that 8 in the morning when I was up until like 1 or 2 in the morning the night before. But
Right.
it's like, you set a goal for yourself, and you can either like allow yourself to just get comfortable with doing little things that are going to stop you from getting to your goal. And like I said, like motivation was one of those things for me where I wouldn't feel motivated, and then I'll be like, okay, well, today's fine, like I'll just take a rest day because I'm not feeling motivated. And then that rest day turned into another one and another one, and then until I stopped going. So it was like I set a goal and I forced myself to, get up and go no matter what in the morning.
Well,
and I use like
there's something that stands out to me about like the association of like why does going getting up and going to the gym have to be something I need to be motivated for, right? Like,
um
well, when I think about when I'm actually there, like it's actually a pretty good time, right? Like,
yeah.
um, I'm relaxed. You know, like it's a good experience. It's like mowing the lawn, right? Like you never want to go out and mow the lawn, but when you're doing it, like you're not having a bad time,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Like,
you can even say that, like about work, like, no one feels motivated to really get up and go to work. At least the majority of people. There's some are psychos out there that actually enjoy work, but anyways,
I
so
enjoy
it's
my
like,
job.
you go to work and then it's like, okay, well, I'm here now. I can make the best of it and crack some jokes with my coworkers and fucking have fun. Or I can continue to, just fucking hate my life and not have any fun here. It's the same kind of thing. You get up and
Okay,
go to the gym. It's like,
and so then the next step is to like remove that, right? Is
mhm.
to not need that association anymore. And that's what I don't know how I'm going to work on that, but that's what I'm going to work on.
Yeah, that and just like the thing that has worked for me is like I had to ask myself like why do I want this so bad? And if you have a strong why, there's always a way.
I've heard that before. That's so
Yeah,
cheesy.
it
Oh
is.
man.
It's the cheesiest thing, but it's true. I mean, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to get it no matter fucking what. So,
I love cheesy sayings, man. But I mean, it's. I feel like that's the next step for me is removing these associations I have with things or events, right?
um,
Like I'm pretty good on you know, the actual living the experience, but when I think about these things I have to do in the future, I don't know, like it's just
yeah. I guess like the what really did it for me was like I had in mind like the person that I wanted to be, and it was like that wasn't enough to motivate me or to drive me out of bed. I was like, oh, that's whatever. But what really drove me out of bed was like I hate the person that I am right now so fucking much that I will go get up after 4 hours of sleep to go and work out because I don't like the fucking way I look. And I hate it that
man,
much that I'm gonna do something about it.
we need to change all of that, dude. We need to set you up with a bedtime and a wake up call and
I
get you
already
some
have
decent
one.
sleep. Well, then,
But I'm
you
saying
know,
this is what the conversation that I had with myself like 4 years ago. Like
oh,
my
okay. I got
perspectives
you.
definitely changed. Like right now, I just get up and go just because it's routine and it's habit, and I fucking love it.
Right.
Yeah, don't worry, I don't fucking hate myself right now.
Well, I'm thinking about, other things too, like, but there are, like, I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah,
Like, the, but, other than, because I am one of those people that genuinely enjoys being at work. So,
yeah.
like, I,
Um, it and like I said, it just becomes like habit once you start going. It's like right now there's a habit of not going and you're breaking that and it feels uncomfortable, but it,
yeah.
it feels the same way. Like when you're going, that habit feels the same, and when you miss a day you're like, oh, that was really hard, like I need to make sure I don't do that.
Well, I don't think I'm one of those people that eases into things. I think you know, go full bore and so I've
Yeah,
got that 2 a day plan. I'm gonna wait 1 week and then I'll go both both times during the day. But
yeah,
um Saturday is gonna be either probably just cardio and then Sunday off and then that's it. So
yeah. I guess actually I can share like another experience because this one was a lot more recent. This is when I started doing MMA. and I fucking like I was really like, motivated and driven to do it and to start. But it's like, I mean, a lot of those guys are experienced and they just fucking whoop my ass every time I go. And so it's like, I I fucking love going and I want to learn this skill because like even though I like the person that I am now, like I want to be better and I have goals and this vision for myself, and it's like I can't do that unless I go and do this. And it was hard to continue bringing myself there for the first couple weeks or first month, just getting my ass whooped every single time. And like now actually I do decent. Like I'm not gonna say like I'll fuck someone up easy cheesy, but definitely
I
me
mean,
right now could fuck me up a couple months ago.
right. And probably most people on the street, including myself,
But
you know.
yeah, it was I don't know, when you
And the,
find something exciting too that really like excites you, it's almost easier to kind of keep
well,
going.
things like that, right? Like not necessarily like fighting, but like, doing difficult things, it is really, really good for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's something that you can always do more of, right? Like you can always punish yourself more. And I'm
Cold
excited,
showers.
man.
Cold showers
I
are the way to do it.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're gonna be taking
Yeah.
cold showers, but I
Well, I
will do
was
that sauna.
oh yeah, sauna sounds great. I've never actually been in one, but I'm looking at a gym right now that has one. But I learned some more things about cold showers actually, and I mean, I should probably look more into it. This is just what I've recently heard, so uh, I'm just gonna repeat it for now, and then I'm gonna go do more research after to make sure like this is accurate information. So, anyways, I feel like it's pretty accurate, but just from the experience that I had. So, like, what happens is you trigger that like fight or flight response, like that big adrenaline rush when you jump into some cold ass water when it's like freezing, and then if you like sit there and submerge yourself in for 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, and you had those endorphins release, like those feel good endorphins actually stick around for like up to 3 hours. So I mean, you get that plus all the other benefits, for your physical body, like raising your body temperature and stuff to like warm yourself back up and all that other fun jazz. But really good for your muscles and bones and ligaments and shit. But I thought that that was pretty cool. If it is true, that it can hold that pretty much serotonin high almost for half an hour. Or I mean,
Right.
3 hours. I thought that was pretty interesting because it's like every time I've
Oh,
taken one, I've
I,
felt great for
I,
several hours.
have you experienced that? Like the
Yeah,
feeling of so is that
that's why I
similar?
feel like it might be true, just because I
Is that
experienced that.
is it similar to runner's high?
I'm not sure. I want to say like runner's high for me. Whenever I got it, was like you get so you when you're running, you obviously you have this burn in your legs, your chest. Is kind of like you feel that kind of like burn in your chest too, almost.
That's
And
not
like
always
when I
how it
get
happened for me.
no,
But
when
go
when
ahead.
when I got runner's high, it was like that pain kind of just didn't go away, but like it felt like a wave kind of came over them and just kind of like calmed it down a little bit, and then like my breathing got like not easier, but it just felt a little bit more comfortable and allowed me to keep going, and I think that was kind of like at least the best way I can describe my runner's high.
I think runner's high might be oxytocin, but either way, like the thing I wanted to touch on was like consciously doing something that your body doesn't want you to do, right? Like there's no like place where discipline exists, but you're building willpower, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's like a crucial thing to have, and I don't have a lot of it right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm I'm great with being, cool with my surroundings, but I have not been taking care of myself, or you know, I have the routine I have, and it's been productive thus far. I've gotten a lot of shit done, but you know, now it's time to straighten up the whole ship.
Yeah, I want to say it's like I feel like it's pretty flip for you and me. Like I haven't been doing like I've been taking very good care of like my physical health, and I'm working out 6 days a week, super clean diet, all my vitamins. But it's the mental health aspect that I have not been really like just driven to keep up on, even though it's like the most important thing, obviously, and like the willpower to do some of these uncomfortable things that I really don't want to do. And it's time that I
so,
start like diving into that more and taking it more
so what you're
serious.
so what you're telling me is as I start to work out and build discipline, I'm going to start cussing when I drop water bottles now.
Pretty much. That's how it started for me.
But no, like it's it, the way I used to think about it is, bad thing happens, and then there's time between when I correct my, you know, the way I feel about it, right? Which might be a day, and then, that's 24 hours. And then maybe the next time it's like, you resolve that shit within the same day. Like, as long as you can, like, know you're getting better at it just by doing it, like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways to help, like, you know, I don't know, cope. Like, I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, you're
Yeah.
making yourself feel better about whatever it is that's going on around you.
Yeah, most definitely. So I mean, with that, I feel like we didn't really have any sort of direction we were kind of going with this on this episode. It was kind of check in because we haven't, recorded in the last like 2.5, 3 months. So,
Well, do you want
um,
to do you want to use our title for the next episode?
well, I was gonna say we can either do that or like, um, I feel like I kind of want to shift into like a different direction almost,
Hell yeah, let's do it.
and just see where that kind of takes us. I feel like that'd be interesting and still keep everything that we want to work on at the front of our heads. So I know I kind of like the way we went in the direction like this time, where it wasn't like um, every episode we've done so far has had like a specific topic or theme that we talked about for the full hour, but this one we kind of jumped around a little bit, and it felt like it was a little bit more personal doing it that way, in my opinion. Even though we didn't like talk about anything really personal in our lives yet, I feel like the way we kind of did this episode, I feel like I'm able to be a lot more open if we were to do another one like this for the
Yeah.
next episode, if that makes sense.
All right, so let's wrap this up and then we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So, all right, guys. Next episode will
It's gonna be
be
a
next week.
surprise.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Uh, season two. Yeah, I like that. We'll just no titles. We'll start titling them after we record the episode and give it a name on what we thought was the highlight, or what we really enjoyed about that, and then hopefully whatever topics we do kind of dive into about our personal lives, what our goals are, or things we're struggling with, trying to figure out how to navigate through it with what we've learned, or perspective shifts. We'll kind of just go from there and just wing it with some sort of direction, I guess.
And if another month goes by without it, I'm getting this kid a webcam, so we'll start putting out video.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. So, Sean, it was nice talking to you as always.
Always.